Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at GarethCahoon3 at gmail.com on PayPal. I've waited a few days before I commented on the Henry Nowak case. And even though the murderer was born in Britain, to me, he's still a foreigner that shouldn't have been in this country in the first place. And he certainly should not have been allowed to carry his ceremonial knives about with him like the rest of his community do. But this is a sick and sad case of police neglect and adamantly two-tier policing. I've had my run-in with the police before. When I had my accident, they botched my case as far as I'm concerned and couldn't convict the person who caused my accident. So I've really got no faith in the police at all, and this incident has even lessened that trust even more. I just want to ask everybody to pray for Nowak's family, who must be going through excruciating memories and pictures that they have in their head from what their poor, innocent young son went through in the arms of the police who are meant to protect and serve. And the Labour Party, the way they have got on over this all, has just confirmed my belief that they are not fit to run our country. Well, they are going to run it into the ground. And the only thing that I can see that will restore Britain is Rupert Lowe and the Restore Party. But that's for another time. This is the story of Henry Nowak. According to court findings, Henry was walking home in Southampton when he encountered Vikram Digwa. After a brief confrontation, Digwa stabbed him multiple times with a large ceremonial knife. Digwa later claimed self-defense and alleged racial abuse, but the jury rejected that account and convicted him of murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. It is important to distinguish between who killed Henry and whether police actions contributed to his death. The court found that Vikram Digwa murdered Henry Nowak. However, the case became highly controversial because responding police officers reportedly treated Henry as the suspect rather than a victim. And whenever he said that he had been stabbed, the police officer said, "Don't think you have, mate." After hearing allegations that he had been assaulted or racially abused, Digwa, body-worn video and court evidence indicated that Henry repeatedly told officers he had been stabbed and was struggling to breathe. Officers handcuffed and arrested him, Medical assistance was not provided immediately because officers initially believed he was the aggressor. These actions led to public anger and accusations that police failures contributed to his death. Hampshire police later apologised for handcuffing and arresting Henry, and the case was referred to the Independent Office for Police Conduct for investigation. Were the police legally responsible for his death? At present, no court has ruled that the police caused Henry's death. The legal responsibility for the killing rests with the man convicted of murder. However, an independent investigation is examining the officer's use of handcuffs, the medical aid that was provided, and whether delays or mistakes by police contributed to his death. So the most accurate summary is that Henry Nowak was murdered by Vikram Digwa, but there are serious allegations that police mistakes and delays in treating Henry after the stabbing may have worsened the situation. Those police actions remain under independent investigation. According to reporting by the Sunday Times, one of the most controversial aspects of this case was not only that the officers treated Henry as a suspect at the scene, but that the Hampshire police allegedly drafted a public statement a few days later that would have presented Henry as the aggressor. The article reported that officers initially accepted claims made by Vikram Digwa and his brother that Henry had been the aggressor and had racially abused Digwa. Even though Henry repeatedly told officers he had been stabbed and was struggling to breathe, he was handcuffed and arrested while Digwa was treated as the victim of an alleged assault. The Sunday Times reported that Hampshire police later prepared a statement intended to counter online criticism, but the draft allegedly continued to portray Henry as the aggressor and Digwa as the victim. The article said the statement was never issued after concerns were raised, and the CBS advised against releasing material that could affect the trial. By the time of the trial, evidence showed Digwa's account was false. The jury rejected his claim of self-defense and racial abuse and convicted him of the murder. The significance of the Sunday Times report is that it suggests the mistaken view of Henry as the aggressor was not limited to the first few minutes at the scene. Critics arguing the force appeared willing to repeat that narrative publicly days later and weeks later. Hampshire police have since apologised for handcuffing and arresting Henry, and the force's actions are being examined by the Independent Office for Police Conduct. What the reporting does not show is that the police intentionally caused Henry's death. The established legal finding is that Digwa murdered Henry. The ongoing scrutiny concerns whether police errors, assumptions and delays in recognising Henry as the victim worsened the situation and whether officers acted appropriately after arriving at the scene. And we've seen police officers, whenever it was George Floyd, who, after all, was a criminal and actually died of a drug overdose. Yes, the policeman had his knee on his neck, but the man died of an overdose and was a criminal. The difference in the two cases is Henry Nowak was an innocent white man and was targeted because of that. And when it was George Floyd who had died, the police took the knee, the country took the knee, everybody took the knee, from footballers to prime ministers to every person almost that was wrapped up in the Black Lives Matter farce. But Henry Nowak was an innocent young man whose life was stolen from him. And it's both